my car fixed yet? It's the Studebaker. Yeah, the one with the little doggy in the window that goes...
When America laughed, she was often at the center of it. But behind the sparkling gowns, the flawless sketches, and the unforgettable laughter, a woman was carrying a lifetime of pain, perseverance, and unyielding courage. Carol Burnett, the queen of variety television, made millions laugh for over a decade. Yet there was one episode she never watched. Not once, in nearly 50 years. Why? Because sometimes laughter isn't enough. This is the story of Carol Burnett. A tale of heartbreak, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of joy. Carol Burnett was born on April 26, 1933, in San Antonio, Texas. Her earliest memories were shadowed by neglect. Both her parents struggled with alcoholism. Her father drifted from job to job, unstable and absent. Her mother, lost in drink, was emotionally unavailable. By the time Carol was a toddler, she had already learned what it meant to be unwanted. The people meant to love her most had chosen bottles over bedtime stories. But even in that darkness, Carol found a lifeline. Laughter. Comedy became her refuge, her shield, and her survival mechanism. When her parents fully gave up, Carol was taken in by her maternal grandmother, Mabel White. In 1940, they left Texas for Hollywood, chasing a dream neither fully understood. There was no glamour waiting. Instead, they lived in a single cramped room in a rundown boarding house, surrounded by addicts, the mentally ill, and desperate dreamers. Survival came on $20 a week, barely enough for food. Yet amid the chaos, Carol finally found something she had never known: unconditional love. It was in that world, in the shadow of despair, that Carol invented an escape. She created a pretend twin sister, Karen. Confident, beautiful, endlessly cheerful. Carol would vanish into Karen, changing her clothes, her hair, her demeanor in minutes, captivating even the other tenants. Those early experiments with identity and performance would become the foundation of her extraordinary comedic genius. Not all escapes were imaginary. Every Saturday, Carol and Mabel spent their meager funds on movie tickets. In those darkened theaters, Carol discovered a world of beauty, order, and joy. A universe far removed from peeling paint and shouted arguments. She immersed herself in the magic of cinema, unknowingly sharpening her instincts for timing, expression, and storytelling. At home, survival demanded cunning. Toilet paper stolen from theater bathrooms, not out of shame, but necessity. Carol learned young that life required both creativity and strategy. And then, a spark. Johnny Weissmuller's Tarzan yell. Carol mimicked it obsessively, mastering rhythm, pitch, and projection. What began as childlike play became one of her signature tools, a skill no acting class could teach, yet vital to her future performances. By high school, Carol dreamed of journalism, following in her mother's unfulfilled footsteps. But UCLA tuition was $50, roughly $600 today, and unreachable. For a moment, it seemed her dreams were over. Then, like a miracle, a stranger paid her tuition anonymously. No strings, no explanation, just enough to change her life. At UCLA, one theater elective transformed everything. Shy and invisible for so long, Carol discovered she could sing, act, and make people laugh with ease. Professors and classmates were captivated. Journalism felt small. Her heart demanded more. She switched majors, and for the first time, she wasn't surviving. She was dreaming. By the end of her freshman year, she was named the most promising newcomer in UCLA's theater program. A spark, a prophecy, a signal that she belonged on stage. In 1954, while working as an usherette for 65 cents an hour, fate intervened again. At a party in San Diego, a sharply dressed millionaire shipbuilder offered Carol and her boyfriend, Don Soyan, $1,000 each to pursue their Broadway dreams, with 3 conditions: never reveal his name, only use the money to reach New York, and, if successful, help others do the same. With courage fueled by ambition, Carol left UCLA behind. She arrived in New York, checked into the rehearsal club, a boarding house for aspiring actresses. For $18 a week, she shared a cot with 4 others. 1 bathroom, 1 closet. But to Carol, it was paradise. The energy was electric. Girls rehearsing lines, singing, dreaming. She worked as a hat check girl by night, auditioned by day, and learned that every rejection carried a lesson, every small triumph a step closer to destiny. In March 1955, Carol and her roommates staged the Rehearsal Club Review, inviting agents and producers. Big names, including Marlene Dietrich, attended. Doors began to open. Her first major breakthrough came from something absurd: a love song about John Foster Dulles, written as a joke. Carol performed it flawlessly. Audiences went wild. She appeared on The Jack Paar Show and The Ed Sullivan Show. Her charm, timing, and comedic skill were impossible to ignore. In 1959, Carol landed the lead in Once Upon a Mattress, a modest off-Broadway musical that skyrocketed to Broadway. Playing the clumsy Princess Winifred, she earned her first Tony nomination. Her performance became the linchpin of the show's success. When she left, the production collapsed within a week. Carol Burnett had become irreplaceable. Television soon beckoned. From 1959 to 1962, she honed her craft on The Gary Moore Show, mastering live audiences and improvisation. She won her first Emmy in 1962, proving that her genius wasn't confined to the stage. Then came the phenomenon, The Carol Burnett Show, premiering September 11, 1967. For 11 seasons, it captivated 30 million viewers weekly. This wasn't just a variety show, it was a revolution. Carol became one of the first women to helm her own primetime show, breaking barriers in an industry dominated by men. The show set the template for modern sketch comedy, inspiring generations of performers. It won 25 Emmy Awards across writing, choreography, musical material, and performance. Co-stars Harvey Korman and Tim Conway earned multiple Emmys, yet Carol remained the heartbeat of it all. Behind the spotlight, life was rarely easy. During the 7th season, Harvey Korman nearly walked away. Tim Conway's improvisational chaos kept the cast on edge. Yet Carol navigated these storms with humor, grace, and authority, fostering camaraderie while demanding excellence. But comedy could not shield her from reality. In 1977, a sketch called The Gong Show shook her to her core. Playing Eunice Higgins, a woman mocked on a talent show, Carol performed with no jokes, no exaggeration, just raw, unfiltered emotion. The crew wept during rehearsal. When it aired, audiences were stunned. Critics praised it. But Carol never watched it again. It was too real, too close to her own struggles. Her personal life mirrored the trials of her characters. Her first marriage to Don Soyan collapsed under pressure and heartbreak. Her second marriage to producer Joe Hamilton brought 3 daughters, professional triumphs and heartbreaks, including her daughter Carrie's struggle with addiction. Carol endured in silence, protecting her family while carrying unimaginable grief. Even the worst could not stop her. Despite losing Carrie to lung cancer at just 38, Carol continued creating, raising her grandson Dylan, and supporting her youngest daughter Erin through addiction. At 89, she returned to acting on Better Call Saul, delivering a performance that left audiences on edge and critics awestruck. Carol's later years were filled with accolades, Emmy wins for guest roles, animated films that introduced her to new generations, and a Broadway return that proved her stage presence remained unmatched. At 91, she improvised complex dialogue for Palm Royale, earning Emmy nominations and reminding the world of her enduring brilliance. Carol Burnett didn't just survive Hollywood, She transformed it. She proved that laughter could heal, but that courage, compassion, and perseverance sustain a life. She once said, "You have to love them enough to let them hate you." Through comedy, heartbreak, and motherhood, that philosophy guided her every step. From a lonely child in a boarding house to the queen of American comedy, Carol Burnett's story is more than entertainment. It's inspiration. She didn't just make the world laugh, she taught it how to endure, how to dream, and how to find joy even in the darkest moments. One laugh at a time, she changed everything. She changed everything.